Yeah, good morning, one and all. Nice, beautiful Sunday morning. Now, after learning all the basics and understanding the concepts from all the wonderful speakers here today in the session, we come to the end. It's like the climax of the session now, and you know that climax is never simple, and it always has a twist. So here come the masquerades and visual field. Now we know basic concepts like glaucomatous versus non-glaucomatous fields. Now, glaucomatous fields, they most commonly they respect the horizontal meridian. They start in the Germs area, and central fixation is the last to be involved. Whereas vascular causes, they usually respect the horizontal meridian. They can be either arcuate or they can be altitudinal, and then mostly central fixation is involved. Neurological causes, they respect the vertical meridian and central fixation is involved. But is it so simple? Do all our cases coming to clinics fall into these criteria? There is something more to it than meets the eye. What makes it complicated is the expectation versus reality. Now, expectation will be a field like this, which perfectly fits into the criteria, and you know it is a neurological field. But the reality that comes to our clinics is something like this. So you see, you mainly see a vertical, let me start my pointer. So you'll mainly see this obeys the vertical meridian, but here you'll see inferior horizontal field defect also. So this becomes very difficult for us to say what kind of field it is, just if we rely on the fields. So mainly coming to the masquerades now, which mimic the glaucomatous fields, and we need to be very careful when we are interpreting these fields. Now we have mainly divided into 4 categories here. Those from disc anomalies, vascular pathologies, neurological causes, and others. Coming to disc anomalies, now disc anomalies will mainly concentrate on optic disc pit, colobomas, and drusen's. Now here, if you see the visual fields, you'll see superior horizontal field effect, mainly which might mimic a glaucomatous field. But important thing here is the disc. We need to see the disc findings. So here you can see an inferior pit and a coloboma here, which gave rise to these field effects. So when seeing a congenital anomaly or disc anomalies like this, we need to concentrate on 2 things. One is the disc, and that is a fundus photo, and second is the progression of these fields. So follow up these patients. Mostly, if the field defect is only due to the disc anomaly, they will be non-progressive fields. But if they are glaucomatous, they will be progressive if left untreated. Coming to optic disc drusen can give variability of field effects. It can be moderate field effect like this, like an inferior altitudinal, to an advanced field effect like this. So when you go back to the fundus photos or the fundus, you'll see mainly severe drusen's. So in these cases, follow-up becomes very important, and it becomes very difficult too, because if such patients develop glaucoma, you'll see that with advanced fields like this, it is difficult to follow up for progression. So mainly you progress with a 10-2 or a macular program where you see a point progression. Coming to the next category, that is the retinal vascular causes. So here we have a case with a field effect like this. So this is mainly a horizontal field effect, and the fixation is involved. So it's mainly a superior altitudinal field effect. Now this can either be a glaucoma, that is NTG, sometimes give a involvement of fixation, or it can be a vascular cause. So when you see the fundus photo, you see this is an anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. So just looking at the field, we should not just go with a diagnosis of a glaucomatous field defect. Next is this field, very typical of glaucoma, that is inferior arcuate field defect. Okay, but when we go to the fundus, you see a STBRVO. So these branch retinal vein occlusion can also have field defects that will mimic a glaucomatous field, and we need to be very careful. Coming to the next category, that is neurological causes. Now, non-glaucomatous optic neuropathies, there can be various causes like compressive lesions. Most commonly, they are pituitary tumors and meningiomas, cerebral infarcts, and infections. Now, when we have fields like this, it is very simple. They are typical neurological field, and we have no confusion. But when we get cases like this, so here you mainly see that there's an inferior altitudinal with a superior arcuate. So now where will you put this into? When you see, look at the fundus photo or the disc, you see there'll be an enlarged cup also. But the most striking feature here, which will prompt you that this is may not be glaucoma, is the pallor. That is the pale neuroretinal rim, which does not happen in glaucoma in early stages. It will be seen only in total glaucomatous optic atrophy. So this was a 42-year-old woman who presented with decreased vision in the left eye. Her IOPs were normal with a left RAPD and a left color vision defect. So this prompted us to get a MRI done. And in MRI, you'll see mainly that there is enlargement and enhancement of the optic nerve sheath. So this was an optic nerve sheath meningioma. We have another case here, a case where ticks and fleas are on the same cat. Now this is a left eye field of a 62-year-old patient. Here you see that the vertical, they're nicely respecting the vertical meridian, but something is here, that is inferior arcuate-like defect. So is it neurological or a glaucomatous field? It is both. This patient had both. It was a patient had a right occipital infarct along with glaucoma. The right eye was a TGOA and left eye was a pointed disc. So never think that the field, try to put a field only into a non-glaucomatous or a glaucomatous. It can be both together. There are studies which say that non-glaucomatous disease patients are more prone to develop glaucoma, and glaucoma patients are more prone to develop non-glaucomatous diseases. So be very careful when you interpret fields. Other causes are mainly media opacities like cataract and cataracts. Now, how to differentiate when fields with only cataract and cataract with glaucoma? So we have 4 important points here. One is here in total deviation, you mainly see there'll be a generalized uniform depression of the spots. Whereas with glaucoma, you'll see there'll be an irregular depression of the spots. Pattern deviation will be normal if it's only cataract. It will be affected if it is cataract with glaucoma. When you see, go to the GHT, there'll be a general reduction in sensitivity. But in cataract with glaucoma, you will see there'll be outside normal limit or borderline. Mean deviation will be affected in both the places, but pattern standard deviation will be normal if it's only cataract, and if it is elevated if it is cataract with glaucoma. Coming to posterior capsular opacities, this is similar to cataracts, but here you will see that the pattern standard deviation is also affected. So when you do a capsulotomy, you will see an improvement in both the mean deviation and the pattern standard deviation. Coming to the next, coming to the next case. That in this case, it was a 72-year-old who came with a field like this. Now they diagnosed it as superior treatment started. Now while examining that, there was also a thing that is blepharospasm was found. So the blepharospasm was treated, and after 3 months the fields were repeated. When the fields were repeated after 3 months, the fields were like this. So it is very important for us to not misdiagnose glaucoma and tag the patient as glaucoma, because it leads to unnecessary treatment. So be very careful of these mimickers of glaucoma fields. Coming to the end, my take-home messages would be, whenever you get a fields which mimic glaucoma or you think it is glaucoma, consider the patient's age. There are studies which tell us that patients with less than 50 years, they have non-glaucomatous diseases than glaucoma. May not be always true, but we need to be vigilant about it. Then the pattern of the visual field change that you are seeing correlates with the appearance of the disc that you see. Check for the pallor of the optic disc. Don't rely on a single piece of information, not just fields. You need to have your clinical approach, your fundus photo or disc examination, and other investigations whichever are available. Note the rate or speed of progression. For example, in congenital in disc anomalies, you will see that there might not be any progression, but glaucoma and neurological fields will progress, but at different rates. Now, when doing a visual field, leave the foveal threshold measurement turned on, because that will give you an idea about the central vision, which is spared in glaucoma till the end and involved at an early stage in neurological fields. Now remember that a patient may have more than a disease. So it might not be just purely non-glaucomatous or purely glaucomatous. Both might coexist. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.